We all know Mahatma Gandhi, don't we? He is the father of a nation, a symbol of peace, a man who moved millions. His face is unforgettable. We watch his story unfold on screen and in books. But pause for a moment. Do we truly know Kasturba Gandhi? She was his wife, his partner in the fight for freedom. Yet, somehow her story remains untold, almost forgotten. Isn't it strange, given all the attention on Gandhi himself? Maybe by focusing so much on one towering figure, we've missed a vital part of the story. What happens when history leaves such a huge silence at its core? Think about how Kasturba Gandhi is usually portrayed. If you've seen the classic films, you might picture her as a quiet, almost silent presence. A supporting wife, yes, but perhaps lacking a voice of her own. But what if that image, largely perpetuated by some historical accounts, isn't the full picture? In reality, accounts from people who knew her, like her grandson Arun Gandhi, paint a very different portrait. He explicitly stated that his grandmother had been misrepresented by other biographers. In fact, her own grandson said she was never as spineless and long suffering, as tolerant of abuse, as altogether helpless and long suffering as the biographers would have us believe. And this isn't just a biographical note. Filmmakers like Shyam Benegal, a pioneer of the Indian New Wave cinema, actively sought to address this historical neglect in his film, The Making of Mahatma. He deliberately gave Kasturba her voice and point of view to the narrative. In the film's opening scene, she challenges Mohandas about his trip to South Africa, expressing her opinion freely and fearlessly with a certain commanding tone.
I don't think you should go.
Hurry! Don't put so much water on the tulsi, it will die. Come here.
You should stay here. That's what I feel.
What am I going to do here in Rajkot?
The children will miss you.
This isn't just about a strong woman, it's about a re evaluation of history itself. If the figure surrounding our heroes are more complex than we've been led to believe, what does that tell us about the narratives we accept without question?
Just a hard, uncaring man.
This isn't to diminish Gandhi's monumental achievements, but to understand them more fully. Because the man who championed the passive non-violence method in the public sphere might have acted like an autocrat in private, imposing his will unreasonably. This is where Kasturba's story truly shines. She saw his transformation firsthand and often faced his temper, whims, and ego, which revealed human weaknesses in the Mahatma. Consider the famous chamber pot incident, Gandhi pushing his ideals, forcing her to clean it. This wasn't just a domestic squabble, it was a clash of wills, a fight for dignity within their own home. Or the profound moment when Gandhi announced his vow of complete abstinence without her input. The film shows Kasturba turning away, a powerful, unspoken display of her pain. Through these constant struggles and deeply personal clashes, Gandhi's spiritual growth was also forced. Kasturba, by not being a submissive, silent wife, forced him to confront his own contradictions. She was, in a sense, his unyielding mirror. Her identity was a constant conflict between her free spirit and the ideal of a good wife she was expected to be. And in that conflict, a more complex human picture of both of them emerges. While Mohandas Gandhi transformed into the Mahatma in South Africa, Kasturba wasn't just a quiet observer. She was there, watching, yes, but also changing herself. The film shows that as Mohandas grew into the Mahatma, Kasturba grew as an individual too. Historically, Kasturba wasn't just observing history, she was an active part of it. When Gandhi was in jail, it was Kasturba who would take charge of the activities of Satyagraha. She became one of the first women Satyagrahis to go to prison in South Africa, a role she continued in India too. This wasn't out of blind obedience, but from her own deep beliefs. Kasturba Gandhi's story isn't just a footnote to a great man's life. It's a crucial, often overlooked narrative that deepens our understanding of the Mahatma himself and the complex dynamics of change. Her struggles in the home, her defiance, her own political awakening. These elements reveal the full human cost and intricate negotiations behind the grand historical narrative. By giving Kasturba her voice, filmmakers like Shyam Benegal aren't just telling a forgotten story, they're rewriting history, challenging old ideas, and reminding us that history is a dynamic, ever unfolding process. Kasturba Gandhi embodies the constant fight for identity and agency within a patriarchal world. Her story compels us to look beyond the celebrated figures and acknowledge the unseen strengths that contribute to monumental transformations. Because sometimes the most profound impacts are made not in grand speeches or public movements, but in the quiet, persistent assertion of one's own truth, even in the shadow of a legend.